RWBY Volume 9 will go down as one of the key moments in the RWBY franchise. And this scene from the trailer has been living in my head rent-free for the past few days. With this volume hopefully making our heroes question their entire character. If your past self could look at you right now, what would they say? How would they feel? And would they be disappointed? I'm asking this because in this scene alone, it tells me that RWBY is about to tear her own self apart. See, with RWBY, ever since the start of the show, she's always been this bubbly little ball of light that just slaughters monsters and kills the occasional robber. But as the events of the show play out and her story gets darker and darker, she still keeps her personality. But with each day, she carries a burden that keeps on growing inside of her. Imagine, ever since RWBY was young, she's always dreamed of becoming a huntress. Someone that fights off monsters, bad guys, and saves the day so that everyone can have their happy ever after. She's had that dream since she was a little girl. And then, it came true. Ruby Rose was finally granted the official title of a huntress. And I ask you, what exactly has RWBY done since she has become a huntress? Who has she saved? What big grim has she destroyed? Looking into the eyes of Ruby Rose, you might say that she saved the kingdom of Atlas and its people, the people of Mistral by stopping the destruction of Haven, or even the people of Argus, even though she bears some of the responsibility. But that's not what this scene is showing us, ladies and gentlemen. How would a younger Ruby Rose, a child, view her older self? Clearly, RWBY isn't in a clear headspace, which could be the cause of this purple fog. Whether or not the fog is playing tricks on RWBY, it doesn't matter. And RWBY said she failed to save Penny not once, but twice. The first time she attempted to get a hold of Emerald but couldn't make it in time. And the second time she was taken out by Cinder and had to leave the fate of the battle in the hands of her teammates. And after witnessing Penny die in front of her at Beacon, she watched as another close friend died. Pyrrha, killed by a villain that RWBY has encountered multiple times, someone who RWBY let slip by her in the past before. Yet, despite all of this, RWBY is still a huntress. How exactly do you think this will play out? What we're about to watch is a battle of mirrors. We have seen it before in Ice Queendom with Weiss and Blake, but we have not yet seen it in RWBY or Yang. Although many love to make the parallels between Yang and her mother, I remind you all that Yang is still her own character with her own personal struggles. While many of them do involve her mom, I like to keep the two separate. These questions I do hope we find answers to within the volume. I want each member of Team RWBY to have their own internal conflicts as the main focus for this season. While Ice Queendom was a great start, our heroes have developed past the Beacon arc and have grown into much more mature adults. Weiss no longer clings to her family name and has actively stood against her father and his practices. Blake, having left the White Fang years ago and seemingly taken down her past aggressor, can finally be free of her past burdens. Yang, after many years of searching for answers to her mother, was able to take a step away from that path and find her purpose. But is that really the case for these three? The White Fang isn't something that Blake can just step away from. Not only is she the daughter of the chieftain of Menagerie, but her father has begun working on a newer version of the White Fang. Weiss's legacy as a Shini will continue to be tested by all those who have been subjugated under the Shini name. And while Yang has dealt with her mother, they're going to eventually cross paths, and we don't know how that's going to end. The one thing that I hope comes out of this volume is that our heroes go through a significant battle with themselves. I understand that the entire volume won't focus solely on our heroes battling their inner self, but I would like to spend a significant amount of time on it. And hopefully they have some idea on how to beat Salem, or at least a better plan than just follow Ozpin. I don't want it to be just, we need to find a way out, let's go look for the tree, explore these new places, and then boom, volume done, it's a wrap. Instead of putting time into cool fight scenes and big set pieces, I would rather have the time spent with us getting to see our heroes go through their struggle. Their actions led to one of the 4 great kingdoms, one of the only 4 safe havens in Remnant, getting destroyed. Don't get me wrong, I fell in love with RWBY because of its fight scenes and its colorful characters, but RWBY has been primarily story-based for a while now, and that's not a bad thing. I just think this volume should really solely focus on the story and our characters, and give us 2 really great fight scenes. And of course I want to see a certain ice cream themed character be involved in the mix, but I do not want Neo to become a hero. She can work with our heroes, but I love Neo staying as this third-party faction, and once this is all over, she can still continue her life of crime if she chooses. It's unfortunate that this volume will only have 10 episodes, and while it said that each episode will have a longer runtime, it was already stated years ago that this would be a shorter volume. Overall, I really hope that this volume delivers on our characters fighting their own internal battles and really reflect on just how far they still have left to go.